Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, November 28th. So we have the moon in Gemini all day. Of course, we just had our full moon in Gemini yesterday morning, early Monday morning. So we're still very much in this full moon energy. We're still kind of coming down from that peak potency, and we're still kind of waiting for some bursts of ideas, some downloads of inspiration, some puzzle pieces of clarity that, of course, will be coming at us over the next couple of days. So there are 10 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them involve the moon. So we're very much still in the processing window of different thoughts, different ideas, really tapping in to see how our body is responding to some of these thoughts and these ideas, and really just kind of weighing the pros and cons of the ideas, the epiphanies that are currently coming in. The moon in Gemini goes ahead and bumps into Uranus. Uranus is the great awakener. He's retrograde in Taurus energy, meaning we are taking a good look at our fears, our doubts, our insecurities on where it is that we're hesitant and resisting some of the changes in our physical realm that we know that we need to make. The moon interacting with Uranus in this way is a positive interaction, which means that there is a jolt coming down from the higher realms of intelligence that's going to wake us up, shake us up, really put a different spin, different perspective on how it is that we're thinking, how it is that we're feeling. The moon then goes ahead, semi-squares Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's also retrograde in this Taurus energy, showing us in our inner realm where it is that we've grown up, where it is that we've healed, where it is that we fixed, repaired a lot of our self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem issues. We are building, percolating, if you will, on the kind of opportunities that we now want to go out in the world and kind of create for ourselves. Again, retrograde energy is internalized, so there's a lot of really boosting our self-esteem, boosting our confidence, and very much exploring some big ideas, some big opportunities, some big possibilities now that we're feeling a little bit different about ourselves. The moon interacting with Jupiter in this way is creating a little bit of tension, a little bit of conflict in order for us to see, again, the choice points. The moon in Gemini, especially the full moon in Gemini, illuminated 2 very different choices, decisions, paths, directions, ideas. This is, again, Jupiter shining a bright light, magnifying, if you will, one aspect over the other. One choice, one decision that is more favorable to our higher selves, to this new version of self that we work very hard to actually meet within ourselves. The moon then goes ahead, makes a positive interaction with Pluto. Pluto's the great transformer. He is in Capricorn energy. This is very much a wake up and a shake up, a major change, a major transformation, not only in how it is that we are feeling, but how it is that we are thinking about how it is that we are feeling. Ultimately, this is a boss up move. Pluto, he likes to really show us where it is that we got to grow up, boss up, take power and control back, where it is that we have the ability to flip the script in our mental plane, in our emotions, in order to turn some of the not so nice thoughts and feelings into something empowering, really, really examining the kind of fuel that we need to keep the fire of excitement, of passion lit within us. Now, Mercury goes ahead and makes a positive interaction with Uranus. This is the only aspect that doesn't involve the moon here today, and this is a pretty powerful aspect. Let's talk about it. Mercury rules over the mental plane, rules over information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves. He's still in his rulership over this full moon in Gemini, so there's a lot of pressure in that headspace. But Mercury's actually in Sagittarius energy that sits across from the Gemini energy. Now, Mercury rules the lower level intellect, meaning our egoic thought process, plucking information, details out of our physical realms, applying logic and practicality to it, really seeing what it is that, we're thinking, we're feeling. This is how we form opinions, how we form perspectives, and how it is that we express those thoughts and opinions outwardly. Uranus, on the other hand, he rules over the highest form of our intellect. That connects us to the divine intelligence, so to speak. And of course, Uranus, he He's the great awakener. He likes to send lightning bolts down into our crown. This is when we have aha moments, epiphanies, a change of mind, a change in perspective. This is essentially when we know that there is a major change, major transformation needed in order to open us up to do things a little bit differently. So when we have the lower level intellect, the higher level intellect coming together, working together, there is this realm of possibility where we are kind of formulating a path and plan to kind of bring some of these ideas, these aha moments into life. Now, again, we're kind of getting trickled information and details here from that full moon in Gemini, providing us with clarity that we have been previously lacking. But basically, this is an opportunity for us to think a little bit differently, to have a different perspective, to have a different opinion. That definitely sets us apart if we're willing to share those particular thoughts and ideas with other people. This is kind of where this Uranian energy encourages us to kind of wave our freak flag, if you will, being an individual, stepping away from the crowd, and really aligning with our own truth that may or may not align with the people around us. Again, kind of giving us an opportunity to be very unique in our perspective, in our understanding, in our thought process, in the ideas that we're looking to conjure up. One thing we know for sure is that this is going to be a download, whether you're able to articulate it right away or not. Maybe you need a little bit of time for those, beautiful little connections to be made. But one thing we know, this is going to be a download of ideas, of inspiration, of clarity, especially when it comes to kind of thinking outside of the box, really kind of adding your individual creativity to some of the problem-solving situations that you may be in, and very much understanding where it is that we can take a big vision, big dream that we are suddenly downloaded with and add logic and practicality on how it is that we're going to make a plan, make a strategy on bringing some of these aspects to life. The moon in Gemini, then going to trine, beautiful interaction with Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money. She's in her rulership in Libran energy, trying to balance things out, trying to create peace and harmony, really kind of pushing for safety, security, and stability. But we do so in such a shallow kind of way that we're willing to compromise our own wants, needs, and desires just to keep the peace, just to make other people happy. And of course, with the nodes of the moon pushing for this karmic life lesson of us detaching from people pleasing, from giving more to other people's happiness than our own, this is an interesting dynamic where we're constantly ebbing and flowing of taking one step forward in a path that it makes us an individual that puts our own wants, needs, and desires ahead of everybody else's, and then feeling bad and guilty for putting our own wants, needs, and desires first, and therefore taking another step back to what is old, tried, tested, true, and comfortable. The moon interacting with Venus in this way, this is a trine. This is a harmonization. Gemini energy is an air sign. Libran energy is an air sign. So we're working together in the mental realm. What we're doing is we're coming up with a path, with a plan, with a strategy on what it is that we could do to kind of regain balance, to make sure that we're working towards peace and safety, security, and stability, to understand where it is that our new priorities, our new value system needs to kind of push us into making some of the not so nice, not so fun changes to our physical realm, especially where our relationship dynamics are concerned. This is a little bit of growth. This is a little bit of healing. This is a baby step in the right direction, figuring out what makes us happy, who makes us happy, and pouring more time and energy into stabilizing that particular relationship dynamic while letting some weaker relationship dynamics kind of have the opportunity to fall apart and fall away. The moon in Gemini going to sextile the North Node in Aries energy. A sextile is a very good interaction. It means that we are making some progress. We are seeing a forward movement, and especially where the North Node in Aries is the soul path, the path that we need to be on to reach our soul's mission, our soul's potential, our soul's purpose. We are starting to see where there are some steps to be had, some steps to be made, some progress that we can physically start seeing in our physical physical realms. A lot of this is because emotionally speaking, we are leaning towards one choice, one decision, one path and direction over the other. Again, illuminated under that full moon in Gemini. And now we're starting to piece together where it is that we're being called away from and what it is that we're being called closer to. The moon is going to get into the boxing ring though, fight it out with Neptune. Neptune, of course, is retrograde in its place of power in this Pisces energy, ruling over our dreams, our soul contracts, our karma, our imagination, our creativity, and our confusion and delusion. The moon getting into the boxing ring with Neptune is likely going to make us super sensitive. We're hypersensitive, picking up on the subtle energies of the world, of the people around us. We may not know what emotion, what energy actually belongs to us and what actually belongs to other people. This can put us in a state where we are feeling overwhelmed, where we don't want to deal with life, where we just want to kind of curl up in a ball and let this particular energy pass. We're having a hard time really examining the vision and dream, understanding the kind of clarity that we were hoping to have right now. And instead, we're kind of being put on pause. We have a little bit more patience that we need to sit in. We have a little bit more time before all of the dots are going to connect, before we're going to see the bigger, broader picture of where it is that we're supposed to be moving towards. And this particular energy is definitely going to have us a little bit in a situation where we just want to numb out. We just want to run away. We just want to escape, especially escape from all of the rapid processing going on in our mental plane. The moon then sits directly across from Mercury. So of course, Mercury rules over the Gemini energy that the moon is in. So there's always a little bit more of an intensity when we're interacting with the ruler of the energy that the moon is currently sitting in. Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves in Sagittarius energy, really has us thinking big, has us thinking about the future, has us thinking about the vision, the dream, the goal, the target that we're currently trying to hit, that we're currently trying to manifest. This is why there's a lot of scatterbrained-ish energy, a lot of squirrel brain-ish energy going on in our mental plane. Because the moon is our heart space, because Mercury is our head space, because they're sitting across the table and there's a little bit of a tension because they are kind of confronting each other, they're not on the same page. The heart space is still kind of going through this rapid processing of trying to figure out what feels the best to us when it comes to percolating on ideas, goals, targets, dreams, visions. Mercury, on the other hand, Mercury just wants to take action, wants to make move and see if we can explore some of these ideas further. Because we're a little bit overstimulated, because we're kind of all over the place, this is a disconnect. We're not on the same page at all. The Gemini energy, of course, wants to stick to what is logical and practical. The Sagittarius energy wants to expand on what's logical and practical and throw in a little bit of mystery, a little bit of magic from the cosmos, really pushing the boundaries on what we believe is possible, versus the Gemini energy that really, really relies on our physical realm or physical circumstances to dictate what is actually possible for us. The moon is then going to interact with Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer in Aries energy, having us really examine the parts of us that still need to kind of be healed, need to be repaired. We're not really feeling good about ourselves. We've been going through this identity crisis / identity rebranding, so to speak, but we're still not up to par, feeling as confident, feeling as equipped, feeling as prepared as we should be feeling at this particular point to make the major changes, to make the major transformations in our physical realm that we know that we need to make. Because this is a positive interaction, we are definitely seeing ourselves from a different set of eyes. We are seeing ourselves from the better set of eyes. Again, Gemini energy gives us very dualistic, very extreme perspectives. Lucky for us, this is a positive one. We're feeling good about recognizing how far we've come. We're feeling good about how much we've grown. We're feeling good about how much we've healed. And in recognizing all this, kind of giving ourselves a pat on the back, kind of giving ourselves credit where credit is due, this is helped building our self-esteem, our optimism, our positivity, and definitely helping us to feel a little bit stronger, a little bit better in this new image, this new identity that we are currently trying to anchor in. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in Gemini, making a not so nice aspect with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is in Capricorn energy. Now, although this isn't going to feel good, it is very needed. This is the particular point in time where Pluto, again, the great transformer, who does so through darkness, death, deception, in order for us to see the light, the power, the evolvement, he's going to take us on a little bit of a dark trip down memory lane. This is when we're going to feel very intense in our emotions, in our thoughts, where we will likely just kind of shift into the negative Nancy, Debbie Downer type of narrative. We're really focusing on our pain, on our trauma, on our weakness, on our vulnerabilities, which doesn't feel good. It makes us feel raw and exposed. But this is necessary because we have to sit in the darkness in order to appreciate the light. We have to sit in the pain in order to realize that it's been designed for our empowerment. And we have to remind ourselves of where it is that our ego selves, that narrative that isn't supportive, that is constantly fear-based, where that ego narrative is still trying to keep us in a state of paralysis. So we have to sit in the funk, we have to kind of sit in the darkness in order for us to realize that, guess what? I can flip the script on this at a moment's notice. I can change the narrative. I can change the dialogue into something strong, into something supportive, into something that is going to help me heal and grow. So of course, it doesn't feel good to kind of let that mind slip into those dark places, to let that heart space slip into those painful moments. But we are operating from a different identity, a different set of eyes. And sometimes when you evolve, when you grow, when you have a different level of awareness, you have to go back to those painful parts of your experiences so that you can see it from a different light. Again, very much spinning that narrative into something powerful, into something that makes us feel way more confident than that egoic negative narrative actually makes us feel.